Kelsey Fullerton. I was just really determined to just take advantage of, the opportunities here, try to meet a lot of people. I want to say my first role on campus would probably have been working with the Business Interco Council. I worked with them as a marketing and programs intern, which is where I actually met you. And I remember that there was a posting about MIC eBoard, so I reached out to you and I started working as creative marketing director. So then I want to say
I found Gradient Think through LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an incredibly helpful resource, not only for connecting with people whose job you want to do, who are like higher up to you, but also like your peers, because that is equally important to connect with the people who are like on your level as well.
I got a position at the local venue in Irvine called 5 Point Amphitheater. I was guest services. There's a few people here that have worked with me. And then they moved me to ancillary, which is kind of like upsells and marketing and learning how to talk with people. And hey, like if you have this ticket, do you want to upgrade it to our cabanas? And just like making the venue like more good. And then so I was working at 5 Point, and 1520 was my first internship. And then summer hit, and I wanted to do something else too. So then I was on LinkedIn, and I was just applying to things, and I was like, you know what? I want to do something in marketing because everything I've done up to my college career has always been in social media. So I was like, let me look into marketing. And then I was fortunate enough to get an internship with Uptown Access Group, which is an LA-based marketing company. They're a startup, so they focus with like LA-based rappers and kind of just like helping them market within LA. And so I would commute. And then I was just working at 5 Point, and my most recent position was at BMG as their digital marketing intern. So I worked with the LA, the New York office, and the Nashville office. And currently, again, the communications director for MIC.
I have stuff to say about this. So one thing that I found really, really helpful for cover letters, resumes, besides a mentor, is my school website. UCI had like a career website, and I'm sure Kelsey Fullerton does too, but it was super helpful. They'd have like a template, even like a template of like interview questions or things to bring when you go to an interview, things not to do. Even today, like if I have an interview or if there's something that I'm like interested in participating in, my cover letter for Sagerstrom, I always follow those templates because it's just like a really good guide, and they honestly they do a good job of like keeping the consistency and really just pulling forward what you want to say, especially because a cover letter like can be so short, and you really just need to get like your interest in why you're there, what your experience is. The templates can be very helpful. What do you think? And then the transition too. I think one thing I wanted to stress was even with like getting connections, because one of my big things, no matter where I am, I always want to try and utilize the space that I'm in, which can seem scary, especially because like if you're new, especially for me at the forum, I'm lucky they let me through the door. Like I'm lucky I get to be inside of that venue. So I want to be really meticulous on who I talk to and when I talk to. So I feel like where I am right now, it's a lot of just reading the room and then figuring out like when is a good time to approach someone, because if someone's running around, and they have a lot on their plate, it would not be a good time to be like, hi, I'm Serafina, I'm the production assistant. I would like to, so definitely like before the show starts, when things are kind of like the calm before the storm, and then you can have like a brief conversation. And then another thing is I never directly or blatantly ask for a job. It's more of like asking for advice. So if there's someone that you meet that you want to learn from, just ask their advice. You could ask them how they started. You can ask like an advice for someone in my position, like what would you recommend that they do? Like these are the things that I'm trying to achieve. And one thing with 1520, Stacey Morales is the person that puts that on. One thing that she's always said is like, people can't help you if they don't know what you want to do. So, and that doesn't mean, you have to, every person you come across, like, I want to do this, but it's again, like reading the room and seeing when is like the appropriate time to approach people, because that is very helpful. So, and that's kind of how I was able to make that divide, because I never asked, maybe all managers are just named Amanda, because my manager is also named Amanda, but but I never asked Amanda, like, can I have a job at the Forum? Like, I really try and let my work and like my aspirations really speak for itself, and I think that's a really, really important thing. And that just shows like your authenticity, and people are definitely a lot more likely to want to help you if you feel like more authentic about where you're coming from, because I'm sure like, you know, they were probably in a similar position. Everybody, no matter like how high up they were, that we all started somewhere. So I think that can be really good. And I feel like that answered the question sufficiently.
Cover letter, I think for resume, my biggest piece of advice is to really use, like, there are specific words that they're looking for, and numbers, I think. When I was going to a bunch of people asking for resume advice, I had a mentor at the time who, really random, she worked at a company that helped advise CEOs. This is this business thing. But one thing that she pointed out is my resume was missing some data or numbers. One thing I think is good to mention, like, how big are the teams that you worked with are? Like, they want to be able to, like, you can't just say that you're good at working in teams. They want to know that you are. I think a lot of things is that, like, don't put soft skills that everyone can have. It's really easy to say you're communicative. It's really easy to say that you are a team player. It's easy to say that you're driven or whatever, right? But you can't, if you put that on there, you're gonna have to make sure you show it. But then if you're just putting that on there, you're kind of wasting time. So might as well just show it overall, because they're gonna read your resume. So my biggest thing is, I think, make sure you have like team sizes. You can use words like manage, like they want to see if you've been in charge of things, or analyze data, or assist it. Like, are you helpful? What are you doing for your team? Even like mention specific projects within the bullet points of a job. Like, you don't have to make a specific project section. I would say just mention like one offhand thing of like, oh, I initiated this thing. Like, I think initiate is also a really great word to use personally, just because it shows that you are a self-starter and you have that need to do things.
Perfect. What I'll do is I'll go on whatever company, like on LinkedIn on their website, I'll go on their about page, and I'll like read what they're about, and I'll try and find like something that I really resonate with, and I'll try and be like, oh, I was so like pleased to hear, or pleased to read that like Segerstrom is like really passionate about X, Y, and Z, because, you know, or because like that's something I'm passionate about. So it's literally like reading what they stand for and then like applying it to yourself and saying like you do it too, because you do, you know.